Welcome back to the Don't Stop Me Now podcast, where being negative can be a good thing and being positive can turn the world around you. I just realized that I wrote that down the other day because I forgot to say it. No, actually I said it wrong a couple podcasts ago. I'm pretty sure, or I didn't say it or something. So I just realized that I wrote it down incorrectly when I think I know how to say it in my head, but I actually wrote it down wrong. I said, where being positive can be a good thing and being negative can turn the world against you. No, it's the other way around, but I think I just said it correctly. Anyways, how is everybody? I'm back. I decided not to take a long old break. I have like so many fun comments that I wanted to respond to. So I think I will get to that first. I did record this last week by accident on 4HD, and on your iPhone you have this option of 4HD or just HD, and then there's a 60 and a 30. So I usually always select the HD only, not the 4HD or whatever, not the 4K. It's 4K, that's it. And then HD. So there's that. I change it to HD, and then I change it from 60 to 30. So that is like less pixels, right? And I didn't do that. I messed up. I forgot. So that download was, it was insane. It took 3 days. So I upload everything from my phone to my computer, well, to my hard drive, because my computer doesn't have any memory. So I have a hard drive connected to it, an extension or whatever. And I bring it to that, and then I upload it to my editing software, which didn't take that long. I mean, it took long. It always kind of takes a while. I mean, it does take hours, but oh my God, editing was painful. It was taking forever to edit just one little thing. It's like it would reload everything after each little edit I made, and it was just so super, super annoying. So I would have done more pictures and stuff, but it was just, the editing was just such a nightmare. I was like, no, I can't add anything because it's just not working right. So then I have to download that project after it's edited. That was the one that took 3 days. After an hour and it had only uploaded 0.5%, I was like, uh-oh, this is going to be like 1% an hour. So I kept track of it for like 3 days. So although my podcast was up through Spotify and Apple and all that, my YouTube took 3 days to upload, and then it takes a while to upload it to YouTube. It's not as long, it's about an hour, but yeah, damn. So I'm not making that mistake. I've done it once before, and I told myself I wouldn't do it again, but I did. And there's a whole bunch of like little things that I go through before I start recording, and I just memorize everything. And I probably should write some stuff down, or just have a little sticky note stuck to the thing that I stick in my phone that connects the mic, saying, don't forget to change it from 4K to HD and from 60 to 30. Anyways, okay, so that's what happened with that. I'm going to get to the comments in a second. I wanted to say that, first of all, I forgot to mention last week about Owen. So he had all 4 of his wisdom teeth out, right? I think I did a whole thing on that. And I had a tooth pulled too. By the way, my molar in the back, my upper molar, that's gone, which left that last tooth feeling really like on an island by itself. My brain is getting used to it. It's been 2 months now. It doesn't feel like my bite is off. I kept thinking my bite got weird and like I wasn't biting straight. Like it felt like the back, it just felt like it wasn't sitting right. It is fine. Nothing moved. But when a piece of food gets in that last molar, like deep in the molar, and I bite down, then it feels like all hell broke loose in my mouth. It feels weird. Like it's like, oh, what the frick is that? But, and flossing is a total trip because I still go to floss as if there's 2 teeth there. And there's nothing there anymore. There's nothing there. There's just that back tooth. So that is kind of upsetting every time I go to floss and forget that there's a tooth missing. The hole has closed itself up. So it's come down and there's still a little divot in there. And every once in a while, a little food gets caught in there and I have a little treat stuck in my gum line, which is a kind of a weird thing, but it's kind of, I don't know. It sounds gross, but it doesn't bother me. It's kind of like, oh, there's something there. But anyway, that doesn't last long. Believe me, I'm not walking around with food in that gum hole forever. But anyways, I'm getting used to it. I don't know. What else can I say? I'm getting used to like having a missing freaking molar. And my son, so he had all four of his wisdom teeth out, and he had a dry socket that happened within 48 hours. The doctor said that's like super rare. That doesn't normally happen. It usually takes longer. So, but it was, I mean, it was definitely a dry socket. He had all the symptoms. And then like we thought we were all good and in the clear. And then about 2 weeks later, he says his right side's hurting on the bottom. And he says, I'm not kidding. It's hurting like it did with the dry socket. And my cheek is swollen again. And I kind of was like, no, there's no way. Like, it's already been like 2 weeks. It's got to be healing, right? So he's like, no, it hurts. So like the next day he opens, he goes, I got to show you, there's like a bump. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to see. It was over the weekend. And I was like, there was nothing we could do, right? Until the dentist office opened on Monday. By the way, I've been waiting to take this first sip of coffee. I literally waited until I started this podcast to make this coffee and have a sip of it. So I'm going to do that right now because you know how it is. You just can't wait for that first sip. So here it goes. This is, it's got a little bit of vanilla creamer in it and a little bit of pumpkin flavored whipped cream that's already melted through it, but I can't wait. Is that too ASMR? Oh my God, it's so good. Hold on. And it's still hot. Wait, one more. Sorry. Oh, so good. Oh my God. I can feel it. The heat just going through my body. And the caffeine's going to hit soon. I love caffeine. Oh my God. I love it. It's part of my day. I'm addicted to caffeine. Just this coffee moment in the morning. I get a total high off it. I get an endorphin rush. I get happy. It makes me feel really good, and it's a great way to start my day. And I'm not doing anything wrong. It's fine. Caffeine is fine. Sorry, it is so damn good. I want to drink the whole cup. It's at the perfect temperature right now where it's like hot still, but I can totally swallow it. Okay, one more. One more and I'll stop. I'm sorry. Oh, I swallowed air. Did you hear that? Oh my God. I went too hard on that one. Okay. So he pulls his cheek out and he says, I promise it's not gross. I'm going to cough. Hold on. And there is definitely on the side of his gum line, on the bottom, though it's his right side, is like it's like puffed out. Like someone's got a Q-tip that they're pushing through his gum line. Like the gum line's hard, right? But there's something pushing out and it looks whitish. I'm like, oh, ew. I said, well, I'll call in the morning, right? So he goes upstairs. About 10 minutes later, I hear him scream. And I hear him going like, just, there's noise upstairs, like, oh! So I go, what? What's going on? He comes down, he goes, I decided to push on it because it felt sort of squishy. Pus shot out of the hole that his tooth was pulled from. Green pus shot out of the hole into his mouth where that tooth was. And it was much better. Like everybody that I've told this to is like ready to vomit. That is like, can you even freaking imagine green pus in your mouth? Ugh! So the next day I called and we had him go in and they said, yeah, it was probably a little piece of food that had gotten caught down in that hole. I mean, Jesus, this is a nightmare. You have these teeth pulled, you have bone exposed, you're still supposed to eat, and somehow you're supposed to clean those holes that are so tender and everything's so painful. So how else are you going to eat? I mean, Jesus, you have to eat. And like little bits of food get caught in that hole and then you end up with a freaking infection. The whole thing is a nightmare. It's a mess. Like, is this really necessary? These extractions? Is it totally necessary? I don't know. I mean, his they were going towards his teeth, but maybe they were just going to sit there for the rest of their life. I mean, do they really need to come out? I don't know. It seems like so much, so much. So anyways, he got on clindamycin. I think that's what they call it. I like that name. Clindamycin. I think that was the name of it. Anyway, he's all better. He's all better. But damn, that was nasty. Okay, let's go to the comments from all the nice people that listened last week. We have Audio Devil, who said, "Thank God you're back." Thank you. I know I did take a month off. STP 9398. By the way, my stepbrother filled me in that night that my stepbrother lives in Texas now, and he texted me that night from Texas. That's why I'm stuttering on the text part. Hi, John. And he sent me the lyrics to Pound Cake. And so, or basically the chorus. And I was like, it's not homegrown, it's Pound Cake, of course. And so we were writing back and forth, and I said, so, okay, like, I didn't ever live with my stepbrothers. So I have to tell this story, by the way. So our parents lived down the street from each other. His mom and his brother Noel are my stepbrothers, and then my dad lived down the street from my stepmom Robin and John and Noel. And so we all went to school together. We all went to White Oaks Elementary. And there was a thing back in the day, before the internet, before there was any way to meet freaking single parents, because divorce was pretty high in the 70s. There was something called PWP, Parents Without Partners. And so you would go to these events, and it's all local. You know, they'd get parents together who didn't have partners, and kids were involved, and sometimes there were some events without kids or whatever. Anyways, my dad always went to PWP. I mean, it's so funny, PWP. Like, it's such a, like, it was such a part of our life, and like now, like, no one knows what that is. And so he met Robin at PWP, which I'm pretty sure that's where they met, but they also did live right down the street from each other. And I think he helped her with some things on her house, and we knew they were seeing each other. And then one day I go to school, I'm like in the 3rd grade or 4th grade, and Noel's in the 3rd grade. And he goes, "I think you're going to be my sister." I'm like, what what? I'll never forget it. I know exactly what jungle gym we were playing on. John, if you are listening, because I know Noel doesn't listen to my podcast, but it's if you were like leaving the office or one of those classrooms right there by the playground, and just walk straight to the back of the field. It was that playground back there, that jungle gym. And that's the one where Noel said to me, "I think we're going to be brother and sister." And I just remember going, "Oh, wow." And then like skipping off, like, what? Wow, that's cool. I mean, we knew our parents were dating. So yes, our parents got married. We were all in the wedding. Poor John passed out during the ceremony. He had to lay down on the floor. Poor Johnny, poor thing. I think he probably just, his knees locked up, and, you know, sometimes you get lightheaded, or it could have just been the stress of being in front of everybody. I don't know, but I'll never forget it. John had to lay down during the ceremony. Poor Robin had to, like, have someone hold her flowers and, like, you know, tend to John. And you know, John, I think you were probably, I think I was around, I'd say I was like 9, so you were probably like 11 around there. You were in junior high. But anyway, John filled me in on the lyrics, but I just wanted to say, so hey, John. And then also I had to confirm with him, just because I was pretty damn sure, you know, I didn't, like I said, I didn't live with them, but I lived really close to them with my mom, and I lived in a house, like, literally, it's like we lived in a fairy tale land where we lived in San Carlos. It's just an amazing, like, little town, and now you can't even touch it. It's so expensive to live there. The Google people took it over, but I lived with my mom in a house about 2 blocks away. So I'd walk to my dad's after school. My dad would come home after work, like I was a latchkey kid. I would come, you know, hang out by myself for an hour and a half or whatever, play with them down the street, probably hung out at Robin's a lot too, because she was home, but she was working real estate too. So I don't know, we were probably all latchkey kids. Just, I remember a lot of like playing in the street. I remember John and Noel making ramps for their bike and like jumping over like cans and shit. And there was a lot of stickers. There was a sticker factory in San Carlos, and in this like industrial part of San Carlos, and they would ride their bikes over there and get all these like rolls and rolls, like huge rolls of like stickers that didn't print right, and they were like thrown out, I guess, and John and Noel would bring these home, and they'd cover themselves with stickers. Like for Halloween, they were like sticker men. They were like covered like head to toe with these like gaming stickers or whatever that didn't like work out. I remember seeing like cherries though too. Like stickers were such a big deal back in the 80s. Like we loved stickers. I mean, kids still do, but I feel like they really started then for us, during that era. But hold on. Oh, more coffee. So where was I? I don't know. So yeah, John, I had to confirm with him that the song Heavy Metal from Sammy Hagar for sure came from him. That I was almost positive that I remember hanging out with them and them playing music. We had only record players and stuff. And I was almost positive, like, he introduced that song to me, and guess what? He confirmed that it was one of his all-time favorite songs. So it's definitely certain that my stepbrother introduced that song to me. So again, thank you, John, for introducing me to a song that is one of my favorites too. Never ever left. Well, it did. For a while I kind of forgot about it, but when it came back, I was like, obviously realized it should have been in my repertoire for a long time. But it's kind of fun to rediscover songs that you forgot you loved too. So that's kind of awesome too. Okay, so STP9398 said this song is called Pound Cake, and Eddie used a cordless drill for the effect. He says, I love Van Halen and the Van Hagar stuff too. Same. You have great taste in music, Jen. Thank you. I think so. I'm not really into country. So if you're into country, you might think I don't have great taste in music. I don't know. Let's see. User with a lot of letters and numbers says both main parties in the U.S. give no hope. Vote green. But I said, but that's just throwing your vote away. You need to vote. I mean, in California, it doesn't even matter if I vote for Trump because it's a blue state and it won't really matter. And I don't really think I'm going to vote anyways because then I get stuck with Santa Cruz County courthouse sending me, threatening letters in the mail saying I need to show up for jury duty. I mean, they do it all the time. It's like you get one every 2 years. So should I not say this on record, but I just throw them away. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm sorry. I don't get paid for my job. I cannot miss a day of work to sit there, forget for what, $15 they give us or something. I cannot. Do you understand the difference of what I make per day and $15? I cannot do that. I don't know why they think people can do that. Get retired people or get people that are literally, they need to have people on the jury who have a background in law. I don't understand why they put people on the jury who don't know shit about the law. Why would we put, well, I mean, people are allowed to decide if they want a jury or not, so they do have that option, but it blows my mind that we just everyday people get to decide the fate of somebody. I don't get that. Anyway, am I a Republican? Someone says this is from Rennie. They say that they are. Rennie, I don't know if that's a man or a woman. I don't think I am. I think I'm more moderate. I just don't like Kamala. Let's just say I just don't like her. I don't feel comfortable with a woman that I haven't seen in the last 3.5 years. And she wasn't voted for by her party. She was just given to them. That all to me is extremely not suspicious, but where's the democracy? No one voted for her. How can she didn't get one vote. How can you be on board with that? You didn't get a choice. They just threw her at you. I don't understand that. And what has she done in the last 3.5 years? How do you feel that this woman is fit to run the country? And I'm sorry, maybe this is very non-feminist of me, very sexist of me. I do not feel comfortable with a woman running the country. I just don't. I feel confident in Trump. He's a businessman. He's a smart man. And I know he's got, people don't like him for, how he talks and all that. But that aside, I understand. I mean, I get that he can look obnoxious and say stupid shit. No one's perfect. I mean, I would like RFK, to tell you the truth. I really, really like him. But, the option is Trump. So for me, I just feel, I hated him. You have to understand, I freaking hated him. I could not understand how my mom and stepdad were supporting this dude who was on this show. What was his show? You're fired. Not the assistant, the apprentice. I'm so glad that came to me. I was thinking I was not going to remember that. I could not understand how that man could run for president. I thought it was so embarrassing for our country, right? Hated him. You have to understand. I could not talk about politics with my mom because I didn't understand how anybody could like this guy. So, and then he's our president, and I'm so annoyed by it, right? I'm super annoyed. But then something happened. Some of it was influenced by my ex-husband, Eric. He definitely was trying to help me see things that he had done that were good. So I was listening, but I still just had this gut hate for the man. I just didn't like him. And so there was something that was just glaring to me. It was when they said in the media that Trump wasn't allowing families through the border that were HIV positive. And everybody was up in arms about it in the HIV community. I'm sorry if I've repeated this before, but I started really thinking about that whole scenario. And I was like, well, for one thing, no one's checking an HIV status at the border. That would be insane. Like, that's so private. Like, that's not coming up anywhere. So that was a red flag to me right away. I was like, wait a second, that's not happening. And then HIV positive couples, do you understand that the majority of HIV positive couples are male to male? But they made it appear that it was like families. And that's just not that common. Like, it just is not. There aren't a bunch of HIV positive male female couples. It's basically male to male. So then that was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. That was when I realized that the media is making shit up for us to view him a certain way. And that was it. I started really thinking about it after that. And then COVID and like I'm not going to get into all of it, but and then somebody wrote here that they're really disappointed in me because federal funding is going to be cut. I don't believe that that's going to happen, for one thing. A lot of things are said. To sway people to vote a certain way. This virus has been around for 40 years, and there's just no way that funding is going to be cut. I go to these meetings. If that were an issue, they would be addressing that. It's not even brought up. And I'm around big time HIV organizations, and they are not even mentioning that. They're not saying a thing about it. So if there's a big concern, and that's where this is ADAP Advocacy Association, ADAP, the AIDS Drug Assistance Program, federal funding, Ryan White funding. I go to these meetings. They do not talk about this as a concern at all. So, and believe me, these people are very well aware of the political environment and everything that's going on. I would have heard something. There would have been something. There's nothing. There's no articles written or anything. So if that was something to really, truly be concerned about, maybe I would change my mind. But there's too many other things about him that I just like, and I just don't like Kamala. I don't. She's, it's a gut feeling. Everything about her bothers me. I just don't like her. She's fake. So I'm sorry if you don't like that I support Trump, but there isn't really another option for me. So that's where I'm going. There's something about him that makes me feel safe too. And I feel like he's well liked in a lot of countries. And I mean, not everything's perfect. There's stuff on both sides. It doesn't mean that I'm straight down the line against everything on the left or anything. It's not that at all. But just in general, I feel more comfortable with him. I do. And so I don't know why everyone gets so mad. I'm not mad at people for supporting Kamala. I would never write to somebody and say, I don't know. It's just everybody's personal choice. And I don't know why people get mad. I'm not I have family members that are definitely that they hate Trump. Am I going to talk to them about my choices? No, that's their thing. They can do what they want. Everybody is allowed to vote how they want and decide what feels right for them. And it shouldn't be, as an advocate of HIV, I shouldn't be frowned upon for voting for who I want to vote for just because it doesn't fit what you think the agenda is, because I don't truly believe that that's an issue, and I just explained why. So my funding, I have Medi-Cal. That's not going to change. Nothing's going to change with that. So, and Ryan White, like I said, I'm in close with these people. If this was going to be an issue, it would have been talked about. There would have been something written. Okay. Let's see. Moving on to more comments. M. Ballum K Hot Schwa. I don't know how to say your name. Someone they said, Diddy aside, I really admire your positivity about being positive. I've been watching your videos and I'm addicted. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I've learned, oh, you're from England. You have a T on the end. Learned a lot about the virus through you. I'm also due for testing, but your videos keep me calm and makes me believe that even if I do get it, I'll be just fine and happy just like you. If you're a man and you're with a woman, you are worrying for nothing. Hi, Misty Diane. This is my friend in Missouri. Right? Joplin, Missouri. She just says, oh, Benny, because she knows my animals. Okay, let's see. Pookie Wookies 9167 said, I gave her a shout out last week, and she said the shout out had me shook. How cute. Laugh out loud. Amazing gift received on this Wednesday, a podcast from Jen. Please don't leave it so long next time. Daily vlogs and weekly podcasts would be more than welcome. Also, please, can you share who you listen to? I wonder if I would enjoy them as well. Yeah, of course, I'd like to do these more. So thank you. I will try to be more on top of it. Yeah, I listen to I listen to true crime. Like, I go to bed with my phone underneath my pillow and listen to true crime like always. That's my go-to. True crime. God, I cannot talk. True crime. My favorite is Sword and Scale, but he is amazing. He does an amazing storytelling on his podcast, and he's very opinionated. He calls these guys out, these murderers, and like calls them pieces of shit and stuff like that, which I love. I love that he's not just telling their story. He gives his opinion thoroughly through it. And I love that because I definitely am always on the side of whatever he's thinking. But he took his podcast, turned it into a TV show kind of thing. So it's through the internet, and it's $20 a month. So a lot of his stuff isn't like, he only uploads like once every 2 or 3 weeks now, I think. But it's such great quality. Like they're my favorites. Then I go to the Dateline 2020 and 48 Hours for a lot of stuff, but their stuff's getting so mishmash. They're all like copying each other. So I rehear this, I re-listen, whatever. They repeat a lot of the same stories, which is fine. I don't even mind. I could listen to Scott Peterson's story with Lacey Peterson and Connor. I could listen to that maybe on every month. Like I don't know what's wrong with me. I never get tired of the Scott Peterson story. I don't know. It's the whole thing is so, I'll never, like, I was there when this was all going down. And when we heard about, the girl, the mistress, Amber Fry, like, that was insane when she came out and did that live press conference. Oh, the girl was shaking like a leaf. Her voice was shaking. She came out and said, I did not know he was married. I have had he has been like my boyfriend, or I have had sexual relations with him. Oh my God. And up until that point, Lacey's mother was supporting Scott. And it was like, oh my God. And I kept like, I just remember watching this stuff going, this dude is not acting right. There is something not right with this guy as far as like how he was acting. And, yeah, I drove by the house about probably 4 years ago when I was with my ex. We were going up snowboarding, and I said, can we just do a little bit of a detour and find the house? Like, I've talked about it on the podcast. It was insane to like drive up and see the freaking house that they lived in, because it had been on the news for months. So anyways, true crime. Yeah, I listen to true crime. And I listen to, so I've been watching MTV's The Challenge for, I think it's been over 20 years now. Johnny Bananas, who I freaking love. I love this man. He's amazing for TV and reality TV, but he's also a great podcaster. I don't know, I can't think of the right words, but he's super entertaining. He's very articulate. He comes up with stuff quick. He's witty. He's gorgeous. Oh my God, has he aged well? Ugh. The gray in his beard like kills me. It's so sexy. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, I'm wearing his sweatshirt right now. I didn't even wear it. I didn't even realize that I'm wearing it. Yeah, bananas. So if you're on YouTube, you can see I'm wearing this. I literally spent $75. Oh, sorry, I'm hitting my mic. I literally spent $75 on this sweatshirt. It says bananas 1982 because that was when he was born. Yeah, I do love him. I do love him. So I listen to his podcast on the Ringer Network. So every time somebody is voted off on the challenge, he has them on the show. And now he does his show in a YouTube studio through the Wondery podcast network, I think. Anyways, so we get to see him now. We get to see him. So he interviews the most recent person that's voted out or loses the challenge, not voted out. And then we get to hear an hour of them talking about what had happened recently. And it's just fun. I've watched these people. They're like part of my life. I've watched them for years. In fact, I wrote on Mark Long's something. You know Mark Long. He's like the godfather of the show. If you watch the show, he's like 6'4". He's 6'4". He is built. Like the man is built. He is only 1 year younger than me. I think he's 53. 52, 53. He is aging well. I mean, I know he's doing fillers and shit, but who cares? He looks good. His body's insane. I mean, sorry, he looks good. He looks better than most freaking 25-year-olds. Never married, no kids. I always kind of wonder about that. It's like, Mark, what's going on? And I don't think Johnny Bananas will ever get married. He probably will never have kids as well. But anyways, Mark said something about if you come to one of our, like, because they do these live shows where they do like Q&A, you know, like it's at a bar somewhere or whatever. It's never on the West Coast. It's always somewhere on the East Coast. But anyways, he said, if you come, you know, whenever, if you know, he's writing to the people, if you come, I'll definitely give you a hug. And I said, oh my God, you'd give a hug? Because I wrote something about him being six. I said, I had to look it up. You're six, whatever. And he said, actually I'm six. I think it was 6'3.5". And I said, and you give hugs? And he just wrote back in big letters, tight. I'm like, literally killed me. Literally killed me. Mark Long replied to me and said he'd give me a tight hug. Oh, I can feel it. I wish. Okay. Let's see. Moving on here. Mandy 9534 says, Mr. Podcast, the Diddy story is wild and it's crazy how many men are on the DL. Like, right? Mm-hmm. Many men. I deleted the comments. Somebody said, oh my God, you're going after P. Diddy. They were like offended that I was saying that like what P. Diddy is, what he's done is like bad. And they said, they related it to me and my sex life and said basically that I'm a whore. And how can I even talk about him when I'm such a whore? I mean, what is wrong with people? I swear to God. Anyways, they are not allowed to comment on my channel anymore. So, I'm just, you know, this is entertainment. Sorry if my sex life bothers you that much. Anyways, I haven't talked about that lately for certain reasons. I still don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to tell you that the favorite is around and I've seen him several times. That's all I'm going to say. If you guys remember the favorite, I've known him for 2.5 years now. Yeah, the girlfriend thing has ended. And who does he go to? Me. He likes me. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And yeah, it's nice. 20 years younger than me. But it works out perfectly because I don't want a boyfriend and he doesn't want a girlfriend. And it's just like, yeah, he's there for, it's perfect. That's it. Okay. I was going to say something else about, no, I'm done with that. Okay. And then someone, let's see, VAIBHAV Kumar. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. 6165 says, oh, they said they recently recognized they have HIV. What do I do? I'm very sad. Someone says, get treated, take care of your health overall, then live a long, happy life. Someone says, take the medication and realize it's such a miracle you caught it now, not 30 years ago. And then someone says, how did you get it? What's your age? But they actually wrote, how you got it. But it's actually, maybe that's just because they don't speak English well, but it would be get, not got. In fact, I need to just reiterate that it's never, I seen him. It's, I saw him. Can we please stop saying that? I cannot tell you. When I hear that on TikToks or on the news or whatever, oh, I seen him over there. I seen him. No. You saw him. I saw him over there. What are English teachers doing? Are they not teaching English anymore? I don't get it. Why is it that people are graduating from high school and they still say that incorrectly? I seen him. No, I saw him. Okay, I'm sorry. I've repeated that a million times. And also the other one, which I cannot stand, is I could have went. I could have went there. I hear this way too often. That's another one. That should be an automatic no. I could have gone. I could have gone. I could have gone there. It's never I could have went. It's never. That's wrong. That's wrong, wrong, wrong. Just stop saying that. Makes me crazy. Makes me crazy. Okay, moving on. Where are we here? I need to go back to my Audacity. See where we are time-wise. Okay, good. Okay, I did not mention that I went to train with my friend that looks just like Pat Monahan. Like, he looks so much like him, it is insane. And he has had people come up to him and take his photo because they think he's Pat Monahan. He has black hair, facial features so similar, cannot even tell you. Jawline, everything. It's crazy. I did a side-by-side on I think it was on my close friend's story to show people how much he looks like him. So I knew when we went, and it's funny because things go back with this person and train the band and the songs were relevant to this person in my life. And it's so full circle for him to go to that concert with me. I didn't really share that with him, but yeah, I'm not going to get into all that, but it really was so crazy to be at that concert with him. Plus, he had been on a cruise, my friend, years ago with his girlfriend, and Pat Monahan had come on to the cruise. They were docked somewhere, had just come on for a small show while they were docked. And someone in the audience said, your doppelganger is here in the audience. And so Pat brought Tim up on stage, and that's filmed. I have the video of it. And like Tim's meeting him and Pat's like, shit, man, like you do look just like me. It was crazy. So they have met, like, which was insane. I also met Pat Monahan. My God, did I talk about this on the last podcast? I don't even know. I know I talked about it on my Instagram story. I'll just say it again really fast because I don't remember if I talked about it on my podcast. But I met Pat Monahan. So he had left Train briefly, and this is when he did a little solo thing. It was right before he went back with Train and Hey Soul Sister came out. So it was just before Hey Soul Sister came out. He did some solo stuff. So I went to go see him at the San Mateo County Fair with my brother, and I didn't know what to expect. Well, he was performing by himself or with his like not Train band, his Pat Monahan band, and he was great. I mean, he did all the songs from this album that I really, really liked. I love this album. I memorized every single song. And he did some Led Zeppelin. I mean, it was amazing, but there was like nobody there. I feel there was like I don't know, 50, 60 people watching. It was so sad. We were like in this, it was like a barn. We were like in this, there was like hay on the ground, and I mean, you know, it was a county fair. And so, but after, there was a group of people that had won, like, through a radio station, the chance to meet him or whatever. So I see this group gathering, and I say to my brother, I want to meet him. I want to meet him. My brother goes, just go in the group. I'm like, okay. So I jump in this group. Like, what? I didn't even know what I was doing. And it worked. I just followed them through the back. We went into this little building that, I mean, it was like really like a shitty little building. And we were told he was going to come out in like 10 minutes or whatever. And they said, line up. So when you get to meet Pat, you can ask him 3 questions and you can have your picture taken with him. So this is before this was like 2009. So this is before, no, it was 2008, before good cameras, you know, on your phone. So I think I had a handheld camera and oh my God, I feel like I told this story on my last podcast. I for sure told it on Instagram. So I'm so sorry if I'm repeating this. Just fast forward if I did. But anyway, so I'm second in line. There's a girl I'm third in line. There's a woman in front of me who's nervous as shit. I am too. We know he's coming. Then all of a sudden he's there. He's standing right in front of us. Like oh my God, there's Pat Monahan. Like, you don't get it. I had just memorized every single word to his solo album months leading up to this. And there he is in front of me. I know his whole album. And I'm just like starstruck, totally. And Drops of Jupiter was already out. All of that stuff was like older stuff. And I mean, he's a legend to me. And I'm like standing there and I'm like, oh my God. And he's like my height, on top of it. It was like, oh my God. And he was so thin. I remember going like, oh my God, he's so like thin. Look at those tight jeans. Shit. But like he just looked fit to me. But there he was with that black hair and that really nice smile. And he had just started a new relationship with a woman. I know. And he's still with her to this day. Because he'd gone through a divorce. That album was kind of based on his divorce and how sad it made him and everything. And he had 2 kids with this woman. Anyway, God, I haven't listened to that album in forever. I need to listen to it again. It was so good. There was a song on there called Girlfriend. If you look up Pat Monahan's solo album and listen to the song Girlfriend, oh my God, I listened to that song so many times. Anyways, he didn't play it that day. So that was one of my questions. One of my things was I wanted to tell him I listened to him on Howard Stern and I loved his interview, which I did. So finally, I get up to him. It's my turn. I can hardly talk. I think he signed something of mine. I don't know. I remember like him looking down for a second, but I asked him that. I just remember I don't even know how I was able to talk because it was one of those out of body experiences. Like I just couldn't believe I was actually face to face standing, like I was so embarrassed too. It was like I'm so embarrassed that I'm like he must know that I crush on him too. Like it's all like so obvious. Like, oh my God, I'm like you're so sexy and shit. I've like been singing your songs in my car and at home for months and now you're right in front of me. Oh my God. So then I get the ability to get a picture with him and the girl that's whoever was in line behind me just took my phone. Not my phone, my camera. It was a camera. And it was with one of those disc things that you take out and then you pop it in your computer and then you can see the pictures later. So I take a picture, but it's like that, when you're so nervous, you can't smile right. Your face is frozen and you don't know how to smile. So I did the best I could, but I do have a picture with me and Pat Monahan. If you're on YouTube, you're probably looking at it right now. I tried my best to like get a good smile, but I will tell you that moment I was absolutely petrified, like not petrified, but just insane, out of my mind, nervous. Like it was a moment, but you know what I can say? It was an incredible moment because a lot of times when you have moments with celebrities that you love, they are not good and you don't get what you thought, or there's something disappointing about it. And this was not that. It was so great. So awesome. And then I also forgot to mention that I went to, God, I still have so many things I need to mention, that I went to Journey and Def Leppard. I saw so many concerts from August through September. I saw Alanis Morissette, Sammy Hagar, the Def Leppard, it was Def Leppard, Journey, and Steve Miller Band. They were all together in San Francisco. And then I saw Train and REO Speedwagon together. So like that was was that 4 concerts? 3. I'm losing count. It's 4. It's 4 in a month. Like that was crazy, but it was so fun. So Def Leppard was obviously, they just did a whole new kind of show with their big screen that brought everything to a bigger feeling. Like I've been to so many Def Leppard concerts. I think that was number 5. It just felt big this time, like with the lights and the everything. They did such a great job. They are just an epic band. I mean, I've loved them since I was 13. I probably will see them every time they come to town. I can't not see them anymore. Like, I don't know how long they're going to tour for. So as long as they're going to bring themselves near me, I'm going to go see them, I'm pretty sure. I just can't not see Def Leppard. But it was weird. That part of the show went by really fast. All of a sudden he was singing Rock of Ages and I was like, it's time for Rock of Ages? What? How did the show go by that fast? Like, I don't know, maybe it felt a little shortened because there was 2 other bands, but I was like kind of surprised that Rock of Ages showed up when it did. But anyways, yeah, I mean, Photograph is it's like, oh, sorry, Kitty, I just scared him. Photograph is one of my top 10 favorite songs of all time, for sure, all time. That was like, yeah, that's when I fell in love with Joe Elliott. And I just love the guys. I just love them. They seem like such a great group of men. And they have all stayed together. It feels like they're just an amazing bunch. And they seem like they get along well from what I can see from Instagram. I see no ego trips. I don't know. I just see them just like this is their life. They're happy. This is how they live their life. They tour. They know people love them. They love everybody. I just don't sense anything in what they do that there's any stopping or anything. I just feel like they're going to keep going. And they really have built their following over the last 10 years. Like they were doing smaller events years ago. They were going to like, I remember they were like supposed to go to the Paso Robles, like that's down south for me, county fair. They were doing that like 10 years ago. And now they're headlining big ass like stadium tours. Like their show is incredible. So yeah, they're not rinky dink. They're Def fucking Leppard. They're amazing. So yeah, I will love them forever. But okay, I saw Journey. I've never seen Journey in person. Okay, so my thought going into seeing Journey was I'm gonna see this kooky looking guy that I had seen when he was singing Journey songs before he actually became the frontman for Journey. So that's what I have in my head. Because I don't really follow them at all. So I haven't followed them through the years at all. So all I remember is like this guy that was singing Journey songs from the Philippines who didn't speak English, but he knew how to sing all the songs and he sounded just like Steve Perry. And he could sing he sings just like him. I mean, he sounds exactly like him. So, and he didn't speak English, but he could sing the songs in English because he'd memorized them. That's what I recall hearing. Anyway, he comes out. He's got gray hair. But like gray white, and it's short. It's like kind of like a little bit like a what do you call it? Like a boy band haircut kind of. And he is a fire plug. This guy, first of all, he's wearing tight black jeans and white chunky tennis shoes, you know. I don't know. He had like just a jacket on, some kind of jacket, like a short cut at the waist jacket. And this guy is jumping around the stage like he's running all over the place. He looks like I gotta get his name. I really do not remember his name. Hold on, I gotta look it up. He's jumping around like he's 25. Like he's doing that jump where when you jump up, your front leg goes straight out in front of you, and then the other leg is bent underneath your butt. That jump. And lead singer. Oops. Oh my gosh, my keys are all sticking. Of Journey. I know you're all yelling at me right now. Arnel Pineda. I would not have remembered that. So I'm thinking he's like, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm like thinking he's like 35 because I like can't see him that well. I mean, I see him on the big screen and stuff, and I'm like, but on stage, like I'm far enough away where I really can't see him. But I do see the white hair, so I'm thinking he must be older, I guess. I don't know. So he joined in 2007, it says. The guy, I'm definitely going to show him on my YouTube so you guys can see. He is 57. Sexy. Oh my God. He's a hottie. Short king for sure. He's married with kids, so I can't crush on him that hard. I wanted to start crushing on him because I was just like, oh my God, I'm in love. Like, he was hot. And oh my God, he sings Open Arms. And I am losing it crying because that and Faithfully got me right in the feels because those songs bring me right back to 6th grade. And I'm going to try not to cry talking about this. It's another one of those everybody in the audience was singing these songs and dancing to them at their 6th grade dance, parties or whatever, dances, like they'd have at their junior highs or high school. This was the group that was around me. Like these people, it was bringing us, trying not to cry, bringing us all back to those days. And there's no way you can sing these songs without bawling. I mean, I'm just like, and I'd never heard them live. So it was like, that was the other thing. It was like, I haven't followed Journey and seen them live through the years. This is the first time. So here I am, 54 years old, hearing those songs live for the first time. So it's like, okay, I keep getting that lump in my throat and I keep having to like calm down. I am, it's just bringing it right there, right there. All the feels, like holy shit. Like it was like walking into my childhood home like I did. That's a whole nother story. My childhood home was up for sale like 5 years ago, and me and my kids went and did a walkthrough, and I collapsed. Like I literally fell to my knees in the backyard where the pool was because there's a cement. God, I've got junk in my throat. Hold on, I need to swallow some more coffee. There's a cement seahorse in the backyard that was this this was before my parents divorced. This is when I was like living there with my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sister. It was the last time we were a family unit. And I have very good memories of that home. And there was this giant statue seahorse that spit water into the pool. And it was taller than me. And it was just the coolest feature in the backyard. Well, it was weird to walk into the backyard because it felt so small, for one thing. That backyard always felt huge to me, but when I walked into it as an adult, and I had not been in that backyard since I was 6. So, I mean, to walk in with all of my kids was the most insane, surreal thing. Then to walk in the backyard, and I filmed all of this because I was just, I'm gonna show the whole video on my YouTube channel. So if you're on YouTube, you can see. I'll show the video. Yeah, I just started bawling because that cement seahorse was there still. So then I took photos with my kids. This is all coming from me talking about Journey. But anyways, took pictures with my kids with the seahorse and in front of the fireplace, because of course fireplace represented like Christmas time and our stockings and everything. And I'm just like, oh my God, so surreal to have my children in my childhood home. And incredible. Hold on. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm gonna go. The realtor was here. I'm gonna go look at the kitchen. Here's the kitchen. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm a mess. I don't even recognize this area. Oh my God, this is my backyard. Owen, can you get a picture of me next to the seahorse? There's the seahorse. Oh my God. Vicky, this is your room now. Oh my gosh. And then you have a bathroom where your closet was. All the kids are in the house. I can't believe I'm in here. This is the inner court. And Brian's room was that bathroom now. This was my bedroom. It's now a stairway. And here's the front bedroom.
Did you have this?
Yeah, this is our bathroom.
You had that?
Well, no, that's different. It's all different.
Yeah.
Totally different. I can't believe my kids are in my house. Oh my God, there's our fireplace. Okay, we'll let this nice lady go home. She was just leaving when we came in. show the front yard again, which everybody has seen. Wow, that was surreal. Okay, stop it. Yeah, it was insane. So that's how I felt about hearing Open Arms, and it just brought me right back to San Carlos too, because that's where I lived for the beginning of my life until I was in high school, and so a lot of good memories from San Carlos. So yeah, shit, stop it. Stop it. Okay, I need to move on to... It's the only way I'll stop crying. I can't talk about it anymore. I want to move on to kind of a big thing I'm doing. I mean, I guess I'm putting this in the title so people will listen to the podcast. Sorry, it's at the end of the podcast, but it's, I have to talk about all my stuff in the beginning. I don't mean to do that. I just kind of save the meaty stuff for the end, I guess. I don't know. By the way, I do want to say that I am hanging out with my kid's dad a lot lately. He's doing amazing, and I'm so happy. He'd gone through a spell, he's had a lot of loss. His sister passed away, I think it was February. And unfortunately, my ex, Chris, turned to alcohol to cope. And, he knows he's an alcoholic. He actually says it now. It is like, I can't tell you how refreshing that is, considering that was like a big part of like why we couldn't stay married anymore, that he would never admit it. It was always like, it was my imagination or whatever. And so it's very validating for me that he will actually go to AA meetings now and say that he's an alcoholic. Like it's like, and I'm so proud of him too, very proud of him. So he had a bout with drinking, back in the early part of the year, and he had left me a bunch of voice messages. He called my phone several times and just went off on me. And I just was really upset about it. So I ceased communication with him for about 3 months, and I would not talk to him. And I wanted an apology, and I got it. I got my apology, and he also was on an alcohol monitor from the court, so he couldn't drink. So we knew he was safe, and I just needed that apology. So that it was done. He apologized. The monitor is done now. He doesn't have to breathe into that anymore. He just has to go back to court one more time. He got in trouble. He was very drunk at his mom's house, and somebody in his family called the police and said that he needed to be picked up. So anyways, he's been clean and sober for many months now. And so it makes it great for me because we can go to our son's events together. And like we go to Owen's football games alone because Ryan doesn't like football. She doesn't like being around that high school crowd. And Joey's just always busy with her girlfriend now. So she's just kind of like, I'm sorry, I missed it. I'm like, don't worry. So it's just me and Chris. We just go, alone. And it's like, there's no other person that I want to be there with. Like, of course, I want to be there with my kid's dad because we are so freaking insanely proud of Owen. Like we couldn't be prouder, and we just, everything that we say to each other, only we get, it's like, it's our kid. We made that freaking beast out there on the field. And to watch Owen sit on the sidelines for 3 years and never really play very much and still stay with the program, go to all the practices, be disappointed literally almost every game because of the amount of time he got to play, to get to this point where he is on the field so much we can't even keep track of it. Owen plays tight end offense, so he's George Kittle, he's Travis Kelce. I mean, right? But dude, Chris and I sat there as parents watching Owen be disappointed several years in a row. Very hard to watch. It's finally his turn because our other seniors have graduated and he's now that position, and man, he is out there all the time. Our son is like visible all the time. Number 42. And goddamn, is that an unreal feeling as a parent? Like, I just you don't know this feeling unless you have a kid. Like, it's the proudest feel. It's insane. You want to burst. Like, I want to jump up and down. Like, they said his name last time he caught a pass. They threw him a pass. They don't usually throw him passes. His job is basically just to keep the certain players away from the quarterback. Like, that's his job. He just has to push people away, and he does it perfectly. And it's so fun to watch because he's so tall and he totally stands out. And I guess he said, like, there was a game like 2 games ago where he's just about to shove the guy, and the guy goes, "How tall are you?" Like, I mean, he's so much taller than most of the kids out there, and it's so funny to watch. But anyways, it's so great for Chris and I, and Chris and I have just been enjoying, I work at the snack shack sometimes, and he'll wait up in the stands for me, and I have the chairs ready. So we've got our, we have these, I bought some really nice chairs like 4 years ago that unfold, and they're cushioned, and they have little pockets for like drinks and stuff. I mean, they're great. And then I bring my blanket, and like, we're just all set and ready to sit and watch for 3 hours or whatever. And we love it. We love it. I mean, it's so fun. I never, ever cared about high school football when I was, growing up. I just didn't go. I think I went to a few games, but I was always cold and just wanted to go home. I just was like, this is boring. So I didn't really like it. But like, I mean, it's so different now with my son out there, and oh my God, it's just incredible. And we're eating it up because this is the last year. He will not play football again after high school. Basketball is going to be a different story. We'll see where that goes. He's also starting in basketball as a center. He is the center. The other guy that he used to kind of go back and forth with, that kind of would play that position above him at times, even though he was the same age as Owen, is focusing 100% on volleyball this year. He's not playing. So Owen was texted by the coach texted him about 2 months ago and said, the position is 100% yours. Like, do not get injured in football. We need you. So it's like, we're going to see Owen play probably mostly the whole game now. Like, it's gonna, I can't believe this year is so different from like years past. So, and it's so incredible to see my son change physically so much from this heavy kid who had the hardest time doing anything football wise. Like, it was so painful to watch Owen his freshman year. He was so out of shape, and now he's turned into this beast of a man. I mean, it's just like, he looks like a man out there. I mean, it's like, dude, I mean, look at our kid. I mean, it's such an amazing thing to watch the transformation. And it's like, we cannot get used to it. It's like Owen just blew up into this amazing athlete, and it's incredible to watch. So, funny thing that happened between Chris and I, we were sitting there in the stands, and Chris can't hear worse shit. He thinks it's from doing construction for so many years and just all the noise from the construction. And, there's a lot of noise just happening at the game in general. Chris is always super generous when I'm at the game. Every time he goes down to get a Coke, even though I don't ask for it, he always gets me a candy bar, even though I would never normally buy a candy bar, but he always ends up bringing me back a candy bar. So I had just eaten a baked potato because I'd worked the snack shack that day. And so when you work at the snack shack, you get to pick whatever food you want and take it with you. So I made myself a loaded baked potato, and I was pretty full from it. But then like 2 hours later, I was like, God, I kind of do want a candy bar. And I'm sort of just talking out loud about like wanting a candy bar and like thinking out loud, like, do I want it? I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to walk down there. And at the same time, he's turning away from me, and it looks like he's pulling his wallet out, and I'm thinking he's getting money out to go get a candy bar for me. And I'm saying, I'm just having this whole thing. I'm like, I said, oh, no. I don't need one. I'm actually fine. And he turns to me and goes, are you talking to me? I'm like, so this whole time I'm literally having this conversation thinking he's hearing me, getting his money out, and he didn't hear me at all. And then he says, were you talking to me? We laughed so hard. Oh, that was FedEx. Did you guys hear? Oh no, it was a police car. What's happening? Interesting. A police car just passed and did a little honk. I don't know why. Anyways, Chris and I, like, maybe it was an inside joke, but we laughed so hard. We're just like cracking up about him being deaf and me talking to him. Like, we're like 2 old people now. Like, that's also fun, is that we've known each other, like, I don't know, 25, 30 years now. We've known each other longer than we haven't known each other. And so Chris is the funniest, probably the funniest person I've ever met in my life. And that's what really attracted me to him, was his sense of humor. Chris has an amazing sense of humor. He's so freaking quick and funny. And then when he'll say something that's funny and you start laughing, he'll keep adding stuff to that and building on it. And I don't even know where he comes up with this stuff. And it's so hilarious. And what I love is that I feel like all three of my kids have some element of his humor. His dad was super funny too. My kids are all really funny. Owen has a great sense of humor. Like, they crack me up. What an amazing thing to make. You freaking made a baby in your body. Like, what? How did that even happen? You comes out of your body. It grows up. It's like, looks like you. Oops, I just hit my mic. And it says funny shit. I mean, it's like, oh my God, like, life is crazy. Life is incredible. Like, it's just amazing to have these kids that, like, I love so much. They're like my best friends, and they are such a highlight to my life every single freaking day. And they're funny. They're funny. So I love Chris's sense of humor. Where was I going with all that? So yeah, I wanted to just let you guys know that my ex is doing good, and I'm really happy about that, and we're really enjoying our son right now. So there's that. We had a 4.5 on the Richter scale earthquake last night. Didn't feel it at all. My son, everybody felt it. Everybody I know asked me, did you feel it? It was like 3 a.m. I took a 10 milligram edible last night, and I did not feel it at all, unfortunately. That sucked. I wish I had, but I didn't. But anyways, I guess I was just too dead asleep to hear it. But yeah, there was a big earthquake. Okay, so let me just say that I put on my Instagram that there's a woman that I know in New York that's going to be part of the study that's coming up in New York, where they're going to, it's basically focused on people taking their medication once a week instead of every day, our pill. And I'm not sure if it's a different pill or if it's just the pills we take already. So I let people know on my Instagram story that this is a study that's going to happen. It's a 6-month study, and it's looking at taking our medication once a week instead of every day. Okay, hold on. So that inspired a lot of people to write to me and tell me that they have experimented on their own with this. And I cannot tell you how many people came forward and shared with me that they've gone on. There's people that don't take it on the weekends. There's people that have taken long breaks. There's people that take it twice a week. There's people that have been super irresponsible or just feeling like depressed about it, and just like they don't want to do it. They're just like, I don't want to take it. So they just didn't. And the interesting thing is, all of these people that wrote to me, at least 15 people wrote to me about this, that they have experimented with pulling back on their dosaging, and they all stayed undetectable. All of them did. And then one person told me, this friend of mine, who said that their doctor in Italy was saying, oh gosh, I can't remember. I don't want to say it if it's not right. It had something to do with somebody going off treatment for like 3 months, and they came back and they were still undetectable. So I know a lot of people will be concerned, because I'm going to start doing this. I'm doing it every 3 days. I'm doing this right now. I just started it like a week ago. So I'm going every 3 days. I'm going to take my pill every 3 days. I get my blood drawn in like 2 weeks. We'll see if anything changes. I am not telling my doctor. She will be mad at me. So I don't want to be lectured. But that's the other thing, is like, we are told that, there was a few things I want to say. I don't want to forget any of them. We are so, like, it's so bashed into our head that we have to take this medication every day. And we are, like, this one lady said that she had pulled back on taking it every day. And it's ridiculous because they wrote in her file that she was possibly suicidal. She said, no, I was dealing with feelings of, like, being distraught with the diagnosis for the first couple years. She goes, but I was over that. She goes, this was later. She goes, this was like me just kind of just not feeling like I needed to take it that much. But she wasn't suicidal. But they like wrote that note. I mean, just ridiculous. But they do pound it into our heads that we must take this medication every day. So from somebody who was born with it, who I know, she says that it's basically based on the fact that the medication in the past was so shitty and they had to take so much that they really did want them to stay on it every single day. But the medication today is so good that we probably don't need it every day. There's still drug pressure in our bloodstream. So, and the other thing is that no one's checking like our body mass index. Why is it that my medication works on a man who's 6'4"? That's not a good analogy, but let's say I'm 5'2" and I'm 102 pounds, and there's a man who's 6'4" and he's 250 pounds, they're going to prescribe that same pill. Why is it that, no, something should be different, right? For the one who's 5'2". Shouldn't that person be taking a half of a pill? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not a doctor. But to me, that just doesn't make sense. And then also, just hearing from all these people that their medication still continued to work or they stayed undetectable makes me feel like our bodies do start to understand after a while how to suppress the virus, because it's training somehow the virus to just stay undetectable. I don't know for sure. But, and I don't feel like we could let it go completely, because there is Hydea Broadbent. She did die from AIDS. Like, she did. She died from AIDS. She stopped taking her medication. She was extremely depressed, and she died from AIDS. She'd had it her whole life. She died at 39 years old. So obviously, there's an example of somebody who took medication most of her life. She stopped, and it did kill her. So I don't believe that I could stop entirely at all, but I want to see if pulling back a little bit changes anything. And obviously, I don't want to become resistant. And like people, that's the thing. You're gonna hear that from your doctor. If you even try this, they're gonna say, "Oh, you can't do that. You got to take it every day. You don't want to become resistant." I don't think me stopping my pill every 72 hours is going to do anything. So I'm not worried about it, but I am very curious to see. Of course, I feel no different. I don't feel anything. This is like I don't think I'm going to feel a thing, but I am curious to see if there's a little change at all. And if there is, well, then I'll go back. I'll go back to doing it every day. But my friend also said it's perceived risk based on the past, and it's a public health thing more than anything. They just want everybody to do the same thing. And it's easier to treat everybody the same than to have all these different varieties of how you can take it. It's just a what's that word? I can't think of it. Not the coverage, but it's a blanket way of dealing with it. It's like a blanket statement for everybody. Everybody does it this way. Also, who's making the money because we're taking pills every day? The pharmaceutical industry, obviously. They're evil. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's probably a cure for this shit, but we'll never have it. So, and I mean, I feel cured already, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, so I'm going to do it. And I'll know, and I will tell you guys my results and see if it changes anything. And yeah, like I said, if it goes up a little bit, my viral load, I'll go back to taking it. We'll go every other day, but I'll be very interested to see if it changes at all. And I want to see what happens with this study as well. So, yeah, I think that's all I was going to say about that. Perceived risk, suppression, resistant, yeah, BMI, what else? Just lots of stories of people taking breaks. One person I know said she only takes it during the week, never on weekends and not on holidays. I think that's really cute. And yeah, they all say that they're not telling their doctors because we all get lectured. It's fucking annoying. Like we're such children, it's like, these are our bodies. We actually don't have to take this medication at all. Like we don't have to. We would suffer a consequence if we didn't at all, but it's not their decision, and we shouldn't be lectured about how we want to take it, how often we want to take it, or whether we want to take it at all. But they feel like we're vectors of society. If we, God forbid, end up with a high viral load that's transmittable, that is not going to happen with me. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to let this virus get to that point. I go to the doctor every 3 months, like everything's checked enough that I would, well, fucking A, about my female to male transmission thoughts anyways. So that's not going to happen regardless, but I know I would never get up to a level where I would like be able to transmit it. So no concerns about that. There's a couple other things I just wanted to throw in here really fast. On TikTok, they have you, well, of course, because I have like over 10,000 followers, they like push you to become a salesperson now, sell products on freaking TikTok. So I tried it. I just want to say really fast that I tried 2 of them, a hair product called Wow. actually it wasn't that great, but I made it look like it was. I did a video for it, and then, because that's the thing, they'll send you the product for free and then you have to do a video. And then I did these bread shoelaces, which are kind of cool. They're elastic shoelaces, so you can get shoes on like Vans high tops. You just slide your foot right in because the shoelaces are stretchy. So what a great invention, right? So I like those two products, so I decided to have them send me those for free. I'll do the videos on them. Well, they don't show the videos to fucking anybody. The video had like no views. It was like 500 views or something. Like, okay, what was the point of me doing these videos? Like a waste of my time completely. I mean, I fulfilled the contract. I did the video like they asked, but what's the point if you're not going to show people my video? I mean, there's videos that definitely are viral for these products, but they didn't make mine viral at all. So I decided from now on, if they're going to send me products, I'm just going to make a dumbass video, like not put no effort into it at all, and just get my free products. But like in general, I'm sick of TikTok being full of advertisements. I'm like, it's annoying. TikTok's algorithm has changed so much, and you have to swipe through so many dumb things now. Products and like too many lives. People on lives are annoying. Makes me not want to do lives. I do them every once in a while, but for the most part, I don't like doing them. And then yeah, there's just a lot of advertising. It's like, I want to get back to like the stories. I love stories when people have really good, juicy stories. I love dating stories, and I love true crime, and I love anything on P. Diddy. Somebody did a TikTok the other day and just said basically everything at this point that has happened in the last like 20 years is P. Diddy's fault. Like 9/11, like they just went on this long list of stuff because literally everything points to him. It's crazy. Oh my God, the cat, my daughter's kitten, fell asleep on the cat tree. His head is hanging through the hole. He's got one, I've got to get a picture of this. I will try to get a picture of this and put this on YouTube. His little paw is hanging through the hole too. He's passed out. He's a little kitten. He's so cute. So anyways, yeah, the P. Diddy stuff is insane. Like, it's apparently Mila Kunis moved out of their house, of Ashton Kutcher's house, because he was involved in these freak offs or whatever. He's apparently guilty, and he's gonna, like, shit's gonna come out. I don't know. Did that really happen? I don't know, but they're reporting it. People are reporting it on TikTok. So it has to be true, but I don't know. I mean, I think it could be. Yeah, we'll see. A lot of people involved in stuff, a lot. But you know who kept their nose out of it? And I respect it so much, and I love him so much. Eminem, 50 Cent, Kanye. I'm not a huge fan of Kanye, but like, he's a Trump supporter. Yeah, he's not involved. Those three guys are not involved, and I love that about them, and I love that for them, and I love that there's lyrics in Eminem's recent song that I think it's recent, where he says something about essay, and you think he's saying he's saying essay like ASSAY or ESSAY, but he's saying essay sexual assault essay, and then he says, did I just say rapper without a P or something like that, meaning raper is the word he's saying, and he's talking about Diddy. Like, what? I mean, those were his lyrics. I mean, shit, the guy knows. P. Diddy is a rapist. I mean, the dude is not getting out of prison. And I do wonder if he's going to die in prison. He's at Jeffrey Epstein's prison. Like, he won't even eat. Apparently that was, I don't know if that's still happening, but he's afraid that, people with a lot of money can make things happen in prison and get poison brought into him. Of course, anything can happen. Money does a lot of, it gets you, it's so corrupt. Money causes corruption. So, which is he woke up. I can't get a picture of him. He's so cute. Oh my God. Look at that face. God, I love cats. It's going to be hard to give him back. I don't want to give him back. He should just live here now. He's so happy. Oh my God, he's so freaking cute. Anyways, I think that's it. I went on and on. Literally, wow. Okay, I'm gonna go get my Sunday started. It's 11:30, and the Niners play at 1:00, and I'm very excited to watch my Niners. So go Niners! And they lost the last two games, but let's hope today's better. All right, guys. You guys have a great week. Love you all. Thank you for the nice comments. Feel free to leave more, and I'll get to them. Okay. Have a good week, you guys. Bye now. If you'd like to be notified for any of my upcoming podcasts, be sure to subscribe. If you'd like to help this girl out, then please rate, review, and share my show. Thanks, guys.